Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome to a high rating spectate. We're currently in Grandmaster Challenger area, and this is actually a requested commentary that basically the last high rating spectate we did a Rengar. This guy was in the top lane playing Pantheon, which he is again. And I actually had a couple comments, and even on Twitch today, people are like, Huzz, can you watch this guy and see what he does? Because Pantheon is known as a pretty bad champion. That he's very early game, completely falls off. And in theory, you know, the higher rating you go, people a lot of the time are like, dude, Pantheon is really early, just don't feed in the early game and he'll be fine, right? But how in Challenger, roughly, nice W by him, don't think a kill's going to happen unless he's going to go all in, has to flash, does use double sums, and that's not a good start because that's double sums use. Okay, oh, the Yone gets a cheeky kill too. So Yone started E, Pantheon starts W, but Yone ended up with a kill with using double sums. Pantheon uses double sums and just gets an assist. So that's what we're going to kind of watch, is see that this guy is literally a Grandmaster Challenger player. People have said, I think he peaked at like 1,000 LP, which is kind of nuts this season. Jinx is getting fed. Saturn V2, thank you much for the brand new tier 1 sub, my dude. So yeah, we're going to see how he plays Pantheon in high Grandmaster Challenger, and in theory, like, how does he do it? You know, does he just force fights? Does he get level 6 and roam? From what we saw in the game against Riven, he just beat the Riven in lane. What I'd expect to see is a fair amount of aggression, potentially. Obviously, Yone does have that kill, and that means a item advantage right now. Pantheon starting Longsword, Yone starting the Dorans, does go for that early W. Which isn't too bad. Is just constantly auto-attacking, so never gives up the autos. Has got PTA. Not bad for early game, which again, it goes to that early game-centric nature of Pantheon. Obviously, Yone supposed to be a scaling champion, but I think we've all seen Yone's just win lane quite often as well. Level 2, both champs. Half health Yone, you'd think he should be a little bit careful. Or I would think, myself. Pantheon just using Q when he can, just to, you know, constantly get that damage. Letting the lane, though, push in, and Yone hits level 3. This is where Yone will probably gain a bit of confidence, but good dodge sidestep for the Pantheon, and then into the engage, which is exactly what you want to do. And now he's pushed in. So Yone might take this opportunity just to go back. Don't risk the health bar. Don't risk low health against a Pantheon, which you shouldn't. Orianna somehow gets a solo kill versus Nazir. That's pretty much unheard of. But there we go. That does happen. So far, blue team doing quite well. 4 kills, 4 to 1. Yeah, while nothing is happening, let's look at runes. So PTA for early game. Triumph. Tenacity, because you can't do any damage if you're CC'd. And Coup de Grace for that execute that combines with his own Q. And then Inspiration, Biscuit Delivery, because he is fairly mana hungry. Warp Tonic, so he probably, with Warp Tonic, I'd imagine we'll see him upgrade that refillable to a Corrupting Potion. Yone, by the way, this won't be good if Yone takes a bad trade, because he's just come back to lane. So he has taken, well, he's done well in damage. He's got the Pantheon away. But he's got no sustain, the Yone. I think he had 1 health potion and has already used it. He's now also taking a bit extra damage. Any damage he takes now is really bad because he's just returned to lane phase. Neither top lane has got TP, so it could be quite bad for him in this if this does continue. But it also could go good for him if he gets himself a cheeky kill. But honestly, he's high risking it, and he's being punished for it. So that is, you know, we've all seen, even today in my play session, I've had top laners 2v1 double kill. You're like, holy jeez. But that's the negative. This Yone willingly took a fight when there was 2 people in his lane, and he got punished for it. So where he had lane advantage, he came back to lane, Pantheon had to go back. Now, Pantheon extended his duration, he got a kill on the Yone. Yone's now down on farm. He has based more than the Pantheon because he's now died. It's overall not a great situation for Yone. So that is where you need to try and hold in your aggroness. What word I want to use, I don't know, your aggression, maybe, as a Yone, and realize this is maybe not the best idea, because he uses E, and what you have to realize, yes, Pantheon can CC and stop and uses E, so he doesn't take any damage. And then as soon as you snap back with your E, that's when the Tilly is waiting for you. Talia is actually weirdly a natural counter in some ways to Yone, because when he uses his E, bounces back to then uses Q, his third Q, to kind of get away. If Talia's got her mines down, he will get stunned trying to escape. So, but the one thing you're seeing here, again, will the Yone ever be, passive? No, because it's a Yone. They don't play passive. So he does use his exhaust. He's overdoing it. He doesn't get the kill. And that's, again, another situation that he's close. He's nearly getting these kills, but it's not quite happening. And this is, unless the enemy jungler's here right now, I could see this Yone dying very soon. Here we go. Into the stun, being patient, using the E to block any little bit of damage. Has Ignite up in, well, over a minute, but has, survived the dive attempt of the E of Yone. And with the W, oh, he doesn't have the damage. Oof. To me, that was a small mistake by Pantheon. He needed one more auto and then Q, and he would have got the kill. That was just a little bit of a misjudge there, which, again, it does show this guy is, from my knowledge, obviously one of the best Pantheon players in the world, one trick, whatever you want to say. Even they make mistakes on judging how much damage they can deal. Everybody can. Sometimes you just might be having an off day or just a mistake in general. It happens to every single player. And he might have cancelled an auto attack there. Enemy team playing crazy aggro. Works out for the Draven, though. Now, Jinx, can she do anything? Don't get stunned. Get stunned with the flash. Janna flashes too. Draven, big early game damage. And bot lane is taking over. Not good, to say the least. Top lane, Yone has taken the farm lead. Which, again, what I would say is, if, let's say, put myself in mid lane this game, and I'm being transporting into this game, or you've been transported in this game, and you have a Pantheon getting killed by a Yone level 6, pre-level 6. Yone comes in straight with ulti, not even thinking by the look of it. Has that level 6 advantage, but now he's getting out-traded on completely. Pantheon has to try and get this kill, and he does. That's what needed to happen. But what I was going to say is, if I saw a Yone solo kill my Pantheon pre-level 6, I'd be like, oh, this game's over. But anyway, what happened there is, yeah, Pantheon blocked all of Yone's actual damage and then just turned the fight around with Ignite as well. So it does show that this lane is hyper-aggressive. Both champions in the right situation and played well can get kills. It should be Pantheon-orientated or Pantheon, way. At least in the early game. I do think eventually Yone will outscale a Pantheon and there isn't much he will be able to do. But can Pantheon get far enough ahead? That doesn't matter. But look at the aggression of these two. They both return to lane and they just start fighting instantly. This is bizarre. Now, it's not great for Yone in some ways because he's just come back and he's already at half health. Already has to use a sustain. He is now going to get ganked. Will this Yone back off? The answer is no. Goes to the mines. He flashes. Gets bounced, though. Gets perfectly bounced into the stun, into the Talia damage, and dies. This is literally insane because all it is, well, basically, Yone's not getting any jungle help, it has to be said. Pantheon is, but Yone is refusing to play passively. He is all out aggression 24/7, and he's being punished for it. And that's the thing. He doesn't need to. That's my point that I was saying earlier, is when you're against a Pantheon, the only high risk you have is letting him snowball early, and then he can take over a game with his ultimate. The Yone is enabling that happening because he's not being passive. He could just power farm, let the Pantheon push in, and then just farm under tower, and I doubt they'd be able to do that much. But he's refusing to do that. Now, very interesting, I don't know if anybody else has spotted the first item. Meanwhile, they're getting dove in bot lane. So this bot lane is not going well for blue team. Yeah, with a winning, but you have a winning bot lane. You have an Azir that hyperscales. You're in a Yone that's going to outscale anyway. You don't need to risk anything. That is the point. Pantheon's ulting top lane, straight on. Again, the aggression of this lane is just insane. Blocking all damage. And again, just to make it clear for everyone, Pantheon braces his shield and engages enemies in a chosen direction, becoming immune to non-tower damage. He is immune. If the direction is, if the damage is coming in that direction, he aims it correctly, he takes 0 damage. Not many abilities in League are obviously like that, but Pantheon is. Again, Yone bounce back and escape. Whoosh. So what I will also say, sometimes, especially in this rating, we're in Challenger Grandmaster, why is top lane the centric point for Talia? Why is she coming top lane? Because she can even see that the Yone's not playing passive. That's the point, is she is seeing the opportunities of Yone's just going to keep going hyper aggro. We can get the Pantheon snowballing on. Hell, even Talia, I can get some kills here because he refuses to play passive. That's a jungler reacting to the game they're in and being smart. Pantheon all in, ignite opener. Yone tries to escape. Just be patient. Whoa, why? He could have been patient. Yone's making a lot of mistakes here. And he kills him anyway. But yeah, Yone panicked a little bit there. The reason why I say be patient, he used all of his stacks, whatever they're called, for his spear or whatever, when he didn't need to, because Yone was inevitably going to bounce back with his E, and then you could have killed him anyway there. But yeah, as you can see, it's not even close anymore in an all-in. The Pantheon will win. Jam, thank you so much for the 26 months tier 1. Says, hello, Huz. Hope you are doing good. Watch 100% of my videos. Thank you very much, dude. That's very kind. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for the ongoing support. It means the absolute world. It really does. And I hope you're all doing well in life. I hope life is going good for you. And if it's not, keep on swimming. As cheesy as it sounds, like Dory says, keep on swimming. Do the best you can, you know. Today I've had an okay day. You know, I'm not going to give away, you know, how the solo queue play session went, because this video might come out before that. But I've had a bit of a wobbly day in terms of anxiety and stuff. But yeah, just do your best you can, and that's sometimes all you can do in life. So you can do it. Anyway, Pantheon maintaining obviously his lead. Yone, I will say, is in a bit of trouble if he continues to play the way he is. And from what I can see so far, I don't see the Yone changing his playstyle. But obviously, gold lead is very close. Red team still have that gold advantage, but blue team has the kill advantage, you know, because generally the only ones that are doing very well on red team are Janna, Draven, and Viego. Zee is having a rough time versus Ori, as we've all seen. Yone is having a rough time. He's even now 2 levels down on the Pantheon. The thing is, though, with having the Draven so strong, it will enable the dragon pressure to probably fall for red team. Especially if, you know, Janna... Whoa! Never mind. Never mind. Jinx just stole it. Jinx can still steal dragons with her ultimate, which is kind of hilarious. So there we go. Viego Triforce, yeah, I would say is a little bit weird. Jumping on his face into the big damage, into the immune. Again, isn't immune to tower damage. And now that is what we can probably consider more or less a dead Yone. But he is trying to get a kill, and he is going to probably get a kill. Unless, there we go, she will survive it by ulting herself. Pantheon, unfortunately there, what you saw is, why did he kill him? Pantheon didn't actually have cooldowns. Lulu went in as Pantheon already had gone in, and he didn't have his W or Q or anything back up. Pantheon's ulting behind. Good ultimate. Can he flash into the W? Murders the Draven. And that's the point. You know, hey, it's great having a fed Draven, but Draven himself falls off, and Draven is also squishy. Draven isn't an AD carry that, like a Vayne, goes shield bow. Pantheon is inevitably going to die here. But yeah, Draven doesn't go shield bow, so Draven always is quite... I don't know. Easy to kill might be the word. Like, Draven's defense is his offense. If he can kill you before you can kill him, well, there you go. That's Draven. But that was... And Azir getting a nice recovery kill also. Orianna, obviously, as you probably can tell, not really moving much from mid lane this game. She's doing well with farm. She's killed the Azir a few times in the 1v1. Is getting ganked now by a Janna and a Viego. Viego is fairly strong himself and has the confidence to just absolutely annihilate an Orianna, because just Viego things. Talia's going to try and get there. Knowing Viego, I was going to say he's not going to just ult away. He's going to go aggressive, but he did miss. Enemy team very low. Jinx does ult, he gets them low, but that's probably about it. And yes, so one thing we did notice is he did rush Serpent's Fang because Yone himself has 2 shields. His W is a shield, and he buys shield bow, which is a shield. So it's double value from that item. Secondly, and I will say I'm not 100% sure why, because we saw this in the Rengar game that we saw this guy in. He buys Chempunk Chainsword early a lot. He did it against the Riven. He's now doing it against the Yone. I didn't think that these items are amazingly cost effective. They don't give you the best of stats. Obviously, Yone does heal, you know, shield bow in itself. Shield bow has a shield and it has lifesteal or omnivamp or whatever. So he is actually, with both of those items, countering the one item of shield bow. People in Twitch chat are saying it's good AD, so it's 55, and it gives ability haste, which obviously Pantheon, I guess, does value quite heavily. So yeah, maybe it's just good for maybe it's good for Pantheon, because ability haste, Pantheon isn't exactly an auto attack champion, he is an ability champion, and ability haste gives your abilities quicker. So I guess for Pantheon, it might actually just be a high value, especially when his opponent does heal a decent amount, you know? Like, if you look at the shield bow, it gives the shield 292 shield right now and 7% lifesteal. So far, his 2 items and even 3 are doing well against Yone. Like, he's building against Yone, but in reality, he's not just building against Yone, they're also good items against Draven too. Draven, he isn't shielding himself, but he's going to be shielded by a Janna, and Janna's going to shield him, so Serpent's Fang will even help against that. So it's a good item. He's recognized that, definitely. Viego gank. Will Pantheon just ult away? He's going to attempt. Does get away. He dodges the stun. Oh, God, he just went there. He literally went from there to there, but it's enough. He doesn't want to get too far away. He probably wants to continue farming, so he doesn't ult really far away, which is kind of funny. Oh, yeah, Eclipse has a shield too. I forget about that one. It's a smaller shield, but it does exist. Yeah. So what I would say from so far this Pantheon, it's just very clean play. Like, I do think, though, you know, it can't be ignored. It is very good, clean play. It's very good play. But he's only as strong as he is, partially, because he was enabled to get strong because the Yone was unwilling to play passive. If you just had something like a Yone or something of scaling nature that just refused to fight the Pantheon early, that's where you potentially beat the Pantheon early. The only difference is then, does this guy's playstyle change? Oh, okay, my opponent is not willing to fight me. Right, I'm going to just start roaming. That's where you'd potentially see if this guy is like, you know, that nature of Pantheon, which, again, to be Grandmaster, 1000 LP and all that stuff, he probably has to have that. He has to have that knowledge of, okay, this enemy against me right now is willing to fight me, I'll fight him, or okay, the scaling Yone is just going to be passive, I need to roam, and he will. That's the sign of a good player. Oh, bad Draven ult. Talia, by the way, is getting herself the Infernal, which is very nice. A little bit, I would say, under the enemy team's nose, if I'm completely honest. I don't think they should have let that happen. Pantheon's going to push up in top lane. Yone's holding bot against the Ori. Could we see a big Pantheon ulti? It's coming up in cooldown in 15 seconds. Again, remember, Draven, fairly immobile champion, so he could be subject to bonk. And yeah, Yone goes down to the Orianna because the Yone's behind and the Ori's doing well. Now, though, with the Orianna and just end up dead, it looks like she probably will. Can she do anything major before? Nope, there's 3 people bot lane, and donk, he is dead. Can they at least get 1 return kill? Pantheon does get a kill on Viego, by the way. Sorry, I missed that. Enemy team is getting that advantage, though. Will we see a Pantheon? He is basing on a ward. Will we see him base, buy, and then go bot lane, I wonder? We will see. As for, by the way, his mythic, I don't know what mythic item he's going to buy. I don't know if Pantheon has a few choices. You know, in my mind, he probably could go Eclipse. He could probably even go Divine. And he could probably even pull off a tank item, to be honest, as well. So, yeah. Okay. Enemy team have backed off, which I think is smart, because if they overextended themselves there, then I think then a Pantheon and a Talia would have been clean up on Isle them. But yeah, I think they do back off, which is smart. But so basically, this game is the Pantheon is doing really well. And Orianna, to be fair, she's farmed well. She's doing solid. Those two are doing the best, where the enemy team has got a fed Draven and a fed Viego. Personally, if I saw the enemy team and Yone dies again, if I saw right now, you know, it's a fed Viego, he's not farmed amazingly well, but he's doing okay. But he's a strong Viego, it's a strong Draven, and they have a scaling a Yone, a scaling Azir. Who would I give the advantage to? I'd probably give the advantage to the enemy team right now. The only good thing for blue team is they actually have both dragons so far, because the Jinx stole the first one and the Talia snuck the second one. Here we go. Engage. Viego kind of goes for, I would say, a dumb engage. Talia needs to drop her ulti. She hasn't dropped her ultimate and she's just blocking her own team. She flashes to escape. Azir gets a triple ulti. Bad fight so far. Orianna ult comes down. Pantheon will go down. So does Draven. And overall, not the best fight, has to be said, by blue team. I think mainly that fight went really bad. Unfortunately, due to the Talia. She completely blocked her whole team, getting actually into the fight at the right time. And that kind of blows. And just reminding everyone, a Talia can choose to drop her own ulti like a Jarvan. So the fact that she didn't do that quick enough ain't great. The reason why I think she didn't, by the way, is she ulted in, got caught, then Zhonya's, and she can't bring down her ulti when she's in Zhonya's herself. So I think that's what happened, is she should have turned down the ult, then Zhonya's, and there we go. So he has gone Divine. But yeah, that fight did not go well. So Divine Sundra is what he's opted for. So again, it's technically the tank killing item, but it's not bad. Again, it's good for burst. You know, it will do damage against pretty much everybody. Pantheon ulting into a bush. Now, oh, he actually found the Azir. How did he know? Wow. Azir flashes away into the Q, gets the kill. That's a big shutdown for Pantheon. That's really good. Which is nice. I don't know if Pantheon is if it's the same. If anybody knows, feel free to let me know. Nice kill there on Janna. Enemy team now getting caught out, actually. And Draven can't do enough by himself. That potentially is a Baron. Does anybody know if Pantheon ult works the same way? That if Pantheon ults into a bush that doesn't have vision, the enemy team have no idea he's ulting into that bush. Does anybody know if that's still true? Because I remember seeing some big brain Pantheons ulting, like, let's say, into this bush. If they, you know, the enemy team is all here, he could ult into this bush. They don't have vision. They'd have no idea then he's behind. They are delaying this Baron because they know Viego. He's ulted. Here we go. They need to W. Kill him. Don't. Oh, kill the Baron. Kill the Baron. Kill the Baron. Kill the Baron. Okay. That was close. They could have killed the Baron when he was in stasis. Well, actually, you can... Can you smite in stasis? I think you actually can. It rings a bell that you can. Anyway, I do think that works, by the way. If they haven't changed it... If they haven't changed it, Pantheon used to be able to do that. I don't know if they've changed it, though. Genuinely, the enemy team has no idea that he's ulted in a bush behind them if they don't have vision of that bush. Like, you wouldn't see the massive animation. Yeah, you can smite in stasis. Yeah, I thought you could. I guess killing Viego was the prio there if you didn't want to risk the 50-50. Yeah, it's the same as Nuno Ultimate. Nuno Ultimate, if Nuno is in a bush and ulties, you don't see the big circle outside the bush. You only see that if you've got vision, right? So, well, Dragon seems to be pretty free. So, Pantheon going bot lane. Orianna holding top. She's got teleport, so she can match the Yone split. Again, the Yone's not running TP himself. So far, so good. 3 dragons for blue team. So 7-3 for Pantheon, 177 farm is doing good. Again, doing good, but isn't what I'd call like, oh, damn, astronomically really far ahead. Pantheon is going to absolutely snowball the fight. Here we go, though. Here's the big fight. Pantheon right on the Draven. Big damage. Gets 1 kill. Helps the Jinx get 2. And now the enemy team has just been annihilated. So that Pantheon, I will say, actually did quite a lot of damage just in itself. But they were already roughly half health when he was ulting in. So that was just what we would say is a poor fight for the enemy team. And that is an ace. 8-3-7, 177 farm still for Pantheon. But yeah, so where is Pantheon's strength? His lane phase, obviously. And then even for mid to late game, when he's not exactly like carry, he's really good to, like that, ult on immobile targets. You will, no matter what, even if you're behind on Pantheon, if you ult on a Draven or you ult on someone immobile, you're gonna force them to react, right? They can't just ignore you. You might be behind, but they have to react to you. They can't just they can't ignore that you exist. Pantheon going on the Draven, blocking all damage, uses a flash, gets the position and change, and gets himself another double kill. That was really nice play. And this looks to be the end of the game. Oh, Jinx, very low health, but nice confidence there. Azir might try to get 1 kill. Nice Zhonya's, actually. And there we go. So that is Pantheon. That's how this guy makes it work. Again, would it be different if the Yone decided I'm actually going to be passive in the early game? Because then the Pantheon doesn't get a few kills early. The Talia doesn't get a kills and assists early. Potentially. Like, that's the thing. The Yone enabled the Pantheon to get this fed. The Pantheon still played it well. Like, 100% played it great. But that's the weakness of Pantheon, is smart enemies, if that makes sense. Because if again, it's where the Pantheon should... No, it's where this guy is probably good at Pantheon. If he gets fed in lane phase, well then amazing, he's fed. If he doesn't, oh, my enemy is passive, that's when you leave top lane and go, bye-bye, I'm going on an adventure, it's Bilbo Baggins time. You go bot lane with your ulti, double chance to get a double kill, and that's what you do. And then the enemy top laner is up in top lane without TP, sucking his thumb, going, where did Pantheon go? So that is the nature of Pantheon. I would call Pantheon a solo queue champion. So that's what I would say. But anyway, really nice play. If you guys enjoyed, do throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.